Usually I don't review new movies super early, right? I try to talk about new movies at least a week after they've already come out just because it works better for my schedule, gives me time to actually watch these movies. Like, I'd love to talk all of these new movies that come out opening day like so many other channels, but I don't get invited to early screenings and I don't have the time because I work at a theater and I work the weekends when these movies come out. But today I went to go see this film, Strange Darling, and this is the one of those times where I came out of a movie right away and knew I had to talk about it. This film, wow. Basically, let me just tell you a little background of me going into this movie. I had no idea what this movie was about. I just saw that some of the ads were advertising it had 100% Rotten Tomatoes, which really doesn't mean much. Rotten Tomatoes is kind of a shitty service when it comes to getting good metrics. Borderlands had a 0%. Yeah, it wasn't good, but is it a 0%? No. Some review scores are just kind of dumb, and that's why I don't tend to use them. That's why you don't hear me go, that movie's a 10 out of 10. I don't think but that's a whole different thing. So I was curious about this movie. Didn't read or look up anything about it. Going to movies blind. And by the end of this movie floored me. I'm going to not tell you very much about this movie because it will ruin the experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some minute details about this movie. And I want you to take those minute details, keep them in your mind, but also don't read or watch any of the reviews that might have spoilers or anything else about this movie. Don't read anything about this movie. I promise you, when you go watch this movie, even if you don't like it, your experience will be enhanced by not knowing anything about it. Essentially what this movie it starts off one way, and by the end of the movie, it flips its head to be something completely different. But at the starting point of the movie, it is a woman trying to evade somebody that you're assuming is trying to like kidnap her or something. You don't have context to it, and then we just kind of slowly unravel the story as the movie goes along, and the movie being told out of chronological order. So by the end of the movie, and you're watching everything you play out, you kind of get a better understanding. And for some movies that do that, because a lot of movies try to do that, because Pulp Fiction is such a great example of that. It's become such a trope in movies to do the non-chronological thing, but Pulp Fiction is made better by doing that, and so but there are other movies that will do that same trope, and there's not really any reason for it. That they're just trying to imitate a style that or cover up weak padding. Where, yeah, it's flashy to tell your movie in non-chronological order, makes it a little bit more engaging. But if the actual substance isn't there, it kind of makes for a weak movie. The substance is absolutely here. You have incredible performances, and you understand completely why this movie was told this way. It had to be told this way, and you will completely understand why by the end of the movie. It is just so well done, and it is just so effective at everything it's going for, and just way I haven't seen in an art house movie in a while. I like art house movies. I feel like this year has been kind of with some of the ones I've seen. I've seen a couple that I've really liked, like Kinds of Kindness, a few others, but this is one that did everything it needed to do very effectively. It was very eerie and tense. Even though I was missing parts of the movie, right, obviously because not all the stories being given to you, and you have to be patient with that. I was still always engaged because of the fact that this movie had such a tension and atmosphere. And the only thing, if I do have a couple complaints, I do have a couple. They're very minute, though. I do think some of the soundtrack is a little cliche and overused. I feel like the score of this movie, when you see this guy who's kind of hunting her down with the gun in the woods, and it's like this noise, it's like, okay, I'm not even doing the noise right, but it's kind of like an irritating sound that at first was great at creating tension, but when you have multiple sequences with that guy and that sound being played, it becomes super irritating and just like all right, like chill the fuck out with some of this. But that's just a minor complaint. It's not even like a big one. And then the other thing I'll say is the movie, while it was really good and everything it was trying to do, I think some of the dialogue was not great. Like, there's certain sequences with certain characters, especially this old couple that appears at a certain point in the movie. I won't say much more about that, but their dialogue felt like, what? This is not how humans would react. Like, this is kind of odd. And I kind of excuse it a little bit because they're an odder couple. Like, that was kind of their characters, but it still felt like a little bit odd. And even other characters in the movie. Like, even the cops in this movie that show up towards the end of the movie, it felt like their dialogue was a little bit off. Like, they're talking about protocols and stuff, and like, and you're like, wait, like, what? That's, like, what? I'm like, okay. It was very effective in everything it was going for, though. It was a very well done movie. And it just so fucking fantastic. This is easily going to be in my top 10 of the year. I usually do a top 5. I don't know if it'll make top 5, but it definitely would be in a top 10. It's just a fantastic movie. I don't know how often I'll rewatch this movie, but a part of me thinks my viewing of this the second time would be enhanced because there's so much things that I was missing, and being able to maybe pick up on some more details and clues to what it was actually happening sooner in the movie maybe would be a cool experience. I'm not sure, but it's very effective. This I believe this movie is playing in very, very limited release, so if it's playing near you, not a lot of people I know at the theater I work at are going to watch this, and I haven't seen a lot of reviews for it. So if this is playing near you, I get out to see it as soon as you possibly can. It is very, very good. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe.